All right, so at this point, we will proceed with the sample problem. I will shift to the whiteboard. Okay, I'm now showing the whiteboard. First, let's read the problem. Example 3. For the system methanol species 1, methyl acetate species 2, the following equations provide a reasonable correlations for the activity coefficients. So natural log of gamma 1 equal to A times x2 squared. And we also have the one for species 2, where A is given by this equation that is temperature dependent. So what do you notice? We need the liquid phase compositions to calculate the activity coefficients. Okay? And then we have the Antoine equation for species 1 and species 2. And T is in kelvins and the vapor pressures are in kilopascals. Assuming the validity of the modified Reynolds law is true, calculate. Oops, it's cut. Let me go back to the um okay. Let me copy paste the required. Okay, so assuming calculate for P P P and Y I for temperature this one given temperature and X sub 1. So we have to graph P and X for temperature and yi. So okay, not really, I think, because we're given already. We specified the x sub 1. So I think this is not graphing. Let me double check that. Yep. Uh, it's not. Okay, so we don't need to graph. We just need to calculate the mole fractions. Okay. So it just means since it's a binary system, we need y1 and y2. Okay, so here we need for letter B, we need the pressure x1 is x2, x1 and x2, and then so on and so forth. And lastly, okay, the azeotropic pressure and azeotropic um composition for T equal to 318.15 Kelvin. Okay, so we begin again by writing the given. All right, let me write that given. My whiteboard pen is a bit delayed. Okay, given methanol, methanol species 1, methyl acetate species 2, given their equations for, I'll not write that anymore, but equations for their activity coefficients. And then Antoine, given the Antoine equations for both species. Species required. Okay, it's already here, so summarize. Just refer to that. All right, it's already summarized. So let's solve the problem. Okay, how do we begin? Just like in the previous example on the bubble point and dew point calculations, for letter A, let's identify what type of calculation do we need. So we're looking for pressure and the the vapor. So bubble P. This is a bubble P calculation. And so the first step that we did before is given at T equal 318.15 Kelvin. Okay. My pen is not functioning optimally. So 318.15 Kelvin. Let me plug and unplug that. Let's see if it improves. Okay. Using Antoine equations. So for P1 sat and P2 sat. So just like our previous example, that's the first thing that we did. So we have P1 sat. Since this is just substitution, I will not anymore demonstrate it in detail. 65.64. So that's in kilopascal, the both of them, kilopascal. And the next thing that we need to do is to solve for the activity coefficients. Okay. So activity coefficients, these are the equations. Let's demonstrate solving the activity coefficient. So if activity coefficient is 1, so we e to the opposite, the reverse of natural log, inverse of natural log is e to the ax2 squared, right? But a is an equation, okay? So here let's solve for a first. So a is also given as an equation, temperature dependent equation. So uh, let me go back to that. 2.771 minus 0.00523 times the temperature. So actually that's just substitute the temperature 0.00523 and then substitute the temperature. A is A is 1.107. Okay? So we need that. Okay, we need that 1.107. So I will write here E to the 1.107 multiplied by x2. Okay? So what is x2? X1 minus x sub 1. X sub 1 is given. Okay? X sub 1 is given. It's 0.25. So 1 minus that value. 1 minus 0.25. And therefore, y sub 1 is 1.864. Not difficult, right? Just substitution. So do the same thing for gamma 2. You will get 1.072. Okay. Dimensionless. So what's the next thing to do? We use this equation. Hold on, please. Okay, we use this equation to solve for the pressure. So use that equation. Okay, let us expand that for a binary system. So that is x sub 1 times activity coefficient 1 times P1 sat plus x sub 2 activity coefficient 2 times P2 sat. Pardon the delay of the whiteboard. Okay, so substituting, x sub 1 is given 0.25, and then we solve for gamma sub 1. We also solve for P1 sat using the Antoine equation. And then x sub 2, 1 minus, so that's 0.75, 1 minus 0.25 multiplied by activity coefficient 1.072 times P2 sat earlier, 65.64 by Antoine equation. The pressure is 73.5 kilopascals. Okay, so that is our answer for pressure, but not finished yet because it's a bubble P, so we also need Y1 and Y2. And we can just use simply the modified Reynolds law. So, Reynolds law, Y sub 1 is, what's the modified Reynolds law? I just put I sat. It's really slow today. The whiteboard is slow. So just substitute everything. Okay, I will not show the details anymore. You'll get from the modified Reynolds law. And of course, y2 is just 1 minus y1. Okay, so those are your answers. Okay? Alright. So the next thing is letter B. Letter B. Mm, letter B. B is, we're looking for pressure and X, given temperature and Y. And what is this? X is liquid, so that's Joule, and pressure. So this is a Joule P calculation. Joule P. Oops, what happened? Joule P. Joule P, not QP. Okay, so how do we proceed? Okay, Joule P calculations. As I mentioned in the lecture, um, this would involve iteration. Okay, let's go back to the required, the given. So temperature is the same. So since the temperature is the same, uh, P1, P1 sat and P2 sat are the same. Okay. And the first step is, so let me first copy those P1 sat and P, uh, hold on. Okay, so I copy the saturation pressures at the same temperature as letter A. And the first step that we need to do is to calculate for the pressure. So this is the iterative steps. Let me write that. Iterative. Hmm, hold on. Okay. Oops. What's happening? The iteration. It's not appearing again. Anyway, alright. So the first step is, okay, step 1 is to calculate for P using this equation. Calculate for P using P, this one. Okay, so So if we're going to use this equation, then we need the values for activity coefficients. Y1 is given already. It's Y1 is 0.6. Okay, so Y1 is 0.6, so Y2 is 0.4, but we don't have values for activity coefficient. So here we assume an initial value. Okay, so we assume initial values for y as gamma 1 and gamma sub 2, gamma sub 1 and gamma sub 2 equal to 1. So we assume first that it's an ideal solution. Okay. Next step in the iteration is we calculate for x sub 1. Okay. Calculate for x sub 1 using the modified Rayo's law. Okay. So what is the modified Rayo's law? Um, x sub 1 is equal to y sub 1. Oh, so by the way, this is a binary system. You just expand it. Okay, you expand it on your own. All right, so I'll expand. No. No space anymore. So, uh, okay, fine. I will expand it. So, y1 divided by p1 sat plus y2 divided by p2 sat. Okay, so this is the expansion. So, for step 2, modified Rayo's law, isolating x sub 1 on one side of the equation. Alright, so that's it. And then, of course, for x sub 2, it's simply 1 minus x sub 1. Okay. Why are you not in sync with my... I'm talking to the whiteboard. It's not in sync with the pen. For step 3, um, evaluate the activity coefficients again and return to step 1. So now we have x sub 1 and x sub 2. We use the equations for the activity coefficients. So these are the equations. Let me copy paste that. Hold on, please. Okay, hold on, please. Oops. Okay, let me bring it to the right place. Okay. So we use this equation. So evaluate and x2. So now that we have values for x sub 1 and x sub 2 from step 2, we will use that to calculate for the activity coefficients. But here, yeah, already solved for A the last time. So that's 1.107. 1.107. Okay. And now that we have values for uh, gamma 1, gamma sub 1, and gamma sub 2, steps, repeat steps 1 to 3 using new gamma. Okay. So that's the iteration. At this point, it's better if we do this using a spreadsheet. So I'll pause for a while. Okay, so by the way, this should be squared. I just forgot the square symbol or operation. It should be squared. Alright, so let's show the Excel file. for the iteration. So this is for letter B, due P. So the first step is, let me go back. First step is to calculate for P using the this equation is derived from the modified Reynolds law. So um but first let's assume the initial gamma 1. Okay, so I put J as the index because if I put I, it will be confusing. We're using I for the composition. So J, the initial is, the initial index is J. The next iteration is J plus 1. Okay, so initially put 1 here, gamma 1, gamma sub 1, gamma sub 2, and then we use this equation right here. I inputted that in Excel. So this is that equation computing for P using the um, assumed gamma. Okay. Y is just 0.6 that's given. So Y sub 2 is 0.4. And these are the uh, what do you call that? Saturation pressures. Okay, so I zoomed in more. So that's the formula. And then we use the modified Reynolds law, that one, to calculate for x sub 1. So modified Reynolds law um, right here, assuming the first gamma, okay, the initial gamma, okay, because we need that in the equation and we also need the pressure. So modified Reynolds law, x sub 2 is just simply 1 minus x sub 1, okay? The next calculations are the gamma using the equations. Okay, so using these equations, we already demonstrated this in letter A. So I merely just repeated that. So that's exponent times x sub. So for gamma 1, it's x sub 2 squared. For gamma 2, it's x sub 1 squared. Okay, so there, and then we for the second iteration, we use the new gammas. So equate this to the new gammas. And then we repeat the calculation. Just drag this down. Okay. And then we repeat the iteration until there's convergence. So I think at this point, okay, this is the convergence. Okay, so it's not changing. Oh, but it's changing for the other. All right, so here, so this is the point where it's not changing anymore for everything. But it's changing for this one. I guess this is the one, the 22nd iteration. It's not changing anymore for. Anyway, since we're rounding off, actually, even if we stop at the initial iterations, that's all right. But officially, it's, yep, the 21st iteration. So where everything is now, every value has converged. So if we go back to our um, whiteboard, let us write the values of convergence. For P is 62.89, right? This is P, 62.89, and then the rest, so that's kilopascals. Okay, and then we have x sub 1. That's what we're looking for. 0.8169. 8169. X sub 2 is, let me pick. 0.1831. 0.1831. Okay, so those are the answers. You can also write the gamma. So 1.0378 and gamma 2 2.0935. Okay, so those are our answers for letter B. So let me box those. Those are answers. Oops. Hmm? Okay. All right. All right. Let's proceed to letter C. Letter C. Okay, what is letter C? We're looking for the temperature and the vapor composition given the pressure and X. So vapor bubble. So this is a bubble T calculation. And in the previous example, bubble T calculation was done using an iterative approach. And that is also what we're going to do today for letter C, another iterative approach. Okay. Uh-huh. So just like before, so the first thing that, so T is unknown. It's a bubble T. So the question is, what's a good initial temperature? So there's a way we can assume a good initial temperature, and that is by um, first calculating the T saturations using the Antoine equation. So using Antoine equation, Antoine's equation, so just put an S there. Antoine's equation uh, at, what's the pressure? What's the pressure? What's the pressure? Oops. Pressure is just atmospheric 101.33. Okay, so at pressure 101.33 kilopascal. Kilopascals. Okay? Um, Plugging into the Anton equation, please do it on your own. You will get T1 sat 337.71 and T2 sat equal to 330.08. Oops, 330.08 Kelvin. Okay, so those are in Kelvin. Okay, so this is a technique that you can do for the initial value of T. So why do we need to, well, assume an initial value of T? Why not just random value? Because it might make our iteration shorter, okay? If we start with a good initial value. So this is a good approximation. The given y value, I'm sorry, is letter C. Given x value is 0.85, x sub 1 is 0.85 in the problem. So with that, we can use a weighted average of those mole fraction weighted average of these saturation temperatures. So let's multiply 0.85, that's x sub 1, times 337.71 plus 0.15, that's x sub 2, times 3330.08. Okay? And that would give us a good initial temperature of 336.57. So, again, pardon the delay in the whiteboard. So, Kelvin. Okay, so these are now, the next is the iteration. And iteration, for the iteration, these are the steps. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we can, using the initial t as initial assumed t, we calculate for values of A, gamma, and alpha. So what is alpha? Let alpha, just like in the previous example, we let alpha be equal to P1 sat over P2 sat. So using T initial, calculate for A, gamma 1, gamma 2, and alpha. Okay? So how do we do that? Just simply use this equation. Okay, it's hang. Okay, so using the initial t, calculate for A, gamma 1, gamma 2, and alpha. So how do we do that? Simply use our equations. Where are those equations? This one. Okay, so use that. For A, you have to recalculate A because it's temperature dependent. Okay? And then you're given in the problem x values for x sub 1, that's 0.85. So x sub 2 is 0.15. Step 2, okay, step 2 is um, solve for P1 sat. Okay, solve for P1 sat using the equation P1 sat. Okay. I have to go back to our previous example to show you. So this is example 1. Okay. Where are you? This one. Okay. Oh, I think we need to rederive this again. All right. Let me check the... Okay, this is not the one. All right, so let us derive again. Okay, I derived it in advance. So first is we expand this equation. So that is x sub 1 times gamma sub 1 times p sub 1 sat plus x sub 2 gamma sub 2 p2 sat. And we divide everything by p1 sat. Okay, so this term right here becomes 1. And this term right here is 1 over alpha. 1 over alpha. And then we isolate p sub 1 on one side of the equation and we get this equation. And for step 2 of the iteration, we use this to calculate for P1 sat. Okay? With a given pressure and the initial, the gamma 1 and gamma 2 from step 1. Okay. For step 3, step 3 is we find a new value for T using the Antoine equation. Okay, so solve for T using Antoine equation for species 1. Okay, so solve, oops. solve for t using Antoine equation for species 1. Okay, so what is the Antoine equation for species 1? Simply, it's the given equation here. Okay, this one. So for t, let me copy paste that. Okay, so just isolate t on one side of the equation. Um, so isolate t on one side of the equation, and then the final step is to repeat using this t. Use this t and repeat steps 1 to 3. Okay. Why is the whiteboard not cooperating today? Okay. Anyway, we'll be shifting to the Excel sheet. So, okay. Use this T. Repeat steps 1, 2, 3. I'll just pardon my handwriting. It's difficult if the whiteboard is not in sync. Okay. At this point, I will move to the Excel. Okay, I'm now showing the Excel file. So the first step is assuming a temperature, and we calculated this by um, first getting the T1, the T saturation for species 1 and species 2, and then getting the mole fraction weighted sum of this temperature, and that would be our initial temperature. So that's the column Tj. So J is the index, J is the initial, J plus 1 is the next iteration temperature. And then from there, calculate A, which is what we are using to calculate the gamma. So let me um, return to that. So here it is, A, uh, using the assumed temperature, okay? And then also we calculate for gamma 1 and gamma 2, where x sub 1 is the given 0.85, x sub 2 is 0.15. Okay, so A using this temperature, initial temperature, gamma 1 using A, gamma 2 using A. The next step is to solve for P1 sat and P2 sat because we need to calculate for alpha. Alpha is the ratio of P1 sat, P2 sat. Okay, and we use the Antoine equations. Okay, so I did not show that there, but we use the Antoine equation to calculate for P1 sat, P2 sat using the assumed T. Okay, so let me move back to the Excel file. So here it is, Antoine equation. So for P1 sat and then P2 sat using the initial T. Okay. Next is alpha, which is just the ratio of P1 sat and P2 sat. And next we have P1 sat, the new P1 sat. So the first one is J, this new one is J plus 1. And this is the part where we will use this equation. Okay, let me Okay, we use this equation now using our alpha. Okay, so we use this equation to get a new P1 sat. Okay, so that is here, this one, using alpha. Okay, using the gamma and using alpha. So that's our new P1 sat. And then we calculate for the next, the new T, using Antoine equation for species 1. Since we calculated the P1 sat for species 1, now we isolate T on one side of the equation to get our new T for the next iteration. Okay, so here it is. This is just Antoine equation. So we need our input is the new P1 sat. Okay, so for the next iteration, use that and then repeat the steps. And then iterate until convergence. So here we have the values. Let's see where it converges. I think up to this point, this is a conversion, the 7th iteration. So our temperature is 331.201. Our what do we need to calculate here? Y sub 1. Okay, Y sub 1 and Y sub 2. So so by the way, we need the gamma and P1 sat to calculate for Y sub 1 and Y sub 2. Okay, so let's first write those. Okay, hold on. Okay, so to save time, I already wrote the answers. So from our spreadsheet, this one, the temperature is 331.2, and then P1 saturation, P2 saturation are these numbers, gamma are these numbers. So we're not finished yet. After the temperature, we need the mole fraction in the vapor phase. So use the modified Reynolds law and calculate for Y sub 1 and Y sub 2. That's it for letter C. Let's move on to letter D. Okay, for letter D, we're being asked for, let me zoom out and, okay, we're being asked for the temperature and X sub 1. So X sub 1 liquid, due T. Okay, tama ba? Yep, due T. Okay, so by the way, letter C is actually bubble. I think I made a mistake. Should be bubble tea. Let me check. B, Ju, P, C. Hold on. I did not write the type. So this is bubble tea. Okay, so bubble tea. Bubble tea. Okay. Letter D is duty. Alright, for the interest of time, I wrote everything already on the whiteboard. We begin by assuming an initial temperature, and a good assumption would be just like in letter C, we calculated for the saturation temperatures at pressure equal to 101.33 pascals, which is the given pressure. So these are the saturation temperatures for species 1 and species 2. We use that and we calculated for the mole fraction weighted average of the temperature using the given fraction y1 is equal to 0.4 and y2 equal to 0.6. This is our initial temperature. In the iteration step, we need to assume first that the gamma values are equal to 1, and we need to evaluate A, the saturation pressures, and alpha using the initial temperature. Then we calculate for x sub 1 using the modified Reynolds law. X sub 2 is just 1 minus x sub 1. And then using now the values for x sub 1 and x sub 2, we recalculate. Okay, so gamma sub 1 and gamma sub 2. Next, we calculate a new P1 saturation or saturation pressure for species 1 using this equation. Now, I leave it up to you to derive this. So just the way that I derived the equation before, just follow that pattern. Then lastly, step 5 is using the Antoine equation, find a new T. Okay? And then repeat the steps 1 to 4 using the new temperature. I'm going to shift now to the Excel file. Okay, so this is the Excel file. Let me erase everything first. Oops. Erase everything first. So this is our initial assumed temperature. So the index J is for the initial, J plus 1 is for the next iteration. Initial is 1, gamma 1, gamma 2. A is calculated using the initial temperature, and then we calculated the P1 sat also and P2 sat using the initial assumed temperature. Alpha is simply the ratio of P1 sat over P2 sat. Next, we calculate x sub 1 using the modified Reynolds law. So what do we need for x sub 1? We need the P1 saturation and gamma 1. So we input that into our equation. Y sub 1 is the given 0.4. Same way for, so x sub 2 is simply 1 minus x sub 1. Next, we calculate the new gamma. So how do we do that? What do we need for gamma? We need x sub 2 and letter A. So we use A and the calculated x sub 2 for gamma 1, and we use A and the calculated x sub 1 for gamma 2. Next, P1 saturation, the new P1 sat. So what do we need? We use this equation, again, this derived equation, okay, this one, to calculate the new P1 sat. Okay, so we use this. Please derive this on your own. All right, so this is the new P1 sat. And finally, we use the Antoine equation to calculate for the new temperature, new iteration temperature. Let me zoom out so you can see the entire, all of the rows here. So for the next iteration, I'm going to use the new temperature and then new gamma 1 and new gamma 2. Okay, so that's important. Not just the new temperature, but also the new gamma. You have to use them in the next iteration. All the rest, you just repeat the calculation. And then, just like before, we um, repeat the steps over and over until we reach convergence, which is about, I think, at this point, yep, I think this is convergence, step 23. Okay, I think so. Anyway, we're going to round off. So these are the values for temperature 326, and then we have the gamma values, etc., which I wrote here in the whiteboard. So please pardon my handwriting. It's because the whiteboard is lagging. Okay, so I can't see what I'm writing. Just guessing. I wrote this earlier. This is 326.7 kelvins. Pressures are in Pascal. So these are the P1 and P2 sat. We have the A, we have the gamma, and we have the composition for the liquid phase, X sub 1, X sub 2. So the answer is this one, okay? The temperature and the, so let me see. It's not showing up what I'm writing. It will show up later. So anyway, I'm going to box the final answers and let's see if it will appear. Okay. So that's for letter D. For letter E, which is the final one, I think I would just have to copy paste the textbook because I can't write this way anymore in the whiteboard. So hold on, please. All right. For the last requirement of this problem, letter E, we're being asked if um, we're being asked for the azeotropic pressure and azeotropic composition for the given temperature at 318.15 Kelvin. So at this point, I have no choice but to show you the book itself because the whiteboard is not working. So the first step is actually to determine whether uh, an azeotrope exists or not in the given temperature. And we can do this by um, calculating for the relative volatility. So what is the relative volatility? We name it alpha sub 1, 2, and it's the ratio of y sub 1 divided by x sub 1 over y sub 2 divided by x sub 2. Okay, because at the azeotrope, if you will remember, let me go to the lecture slides. At the azeotrope, the value of y sub 1 is equal to the value of x sub 1, and the value of y sub 2 is equal to the value of x sub 2. All right. So, therefore, the relative volatility alpha sub 1, 2 is equal to 1. Okay. So if we substitute that equality into this definition of alpha sub 1, 2, it would give us alpha sub 1 to equal to 1. All right. Now we move on to the modified Rayauld's law, and we transfer x sub 1 to the left-hand side of the equation and t to the right-hand side of the equation. So this is just the modified Rayauld's law. So if we substitute this into our relative volatility equation, uh, the denominator p cancels out and we are left with this equation, which is gamma sub 1 times the saturation pressure of species 1 divided by gamma sub 2 um, multiplied by the saturation pressure of species 2. So this is another equation for the relative volatility. All right. So now we go back to the correlating equations of the activity coefficients. Let me go there to the problem. Okay, so if we substitute, x2 or x1 in equal to 0, what will be our gamma sub 2? Okay, so if this is quantity is 0, then gamma sub 2 is 1, right? Okay, so it should ln of 1 is 0, correct? And then if um, that's the case, x sub 2, when x sub 1 is 0, then x sub 2 is 1, and therefore gamma sub 1 is the exponent of a multiplied by 1 squared, so it's just the exponent of a. And then we also investigate when x sub 1 is 1, the other way around, that would give us gamma sub 1 equal to 1, and if x sub 2 is 0, that would give us y sub 2 equal to exponent of a. All right, so just as simple as substituting 0 and 1 for the mole fractions and getting the values for gamma. So um, those are the limits, okay, for gamma, okay, because we only have the mole fraction between 0 to 1, so it would give us the limits for gamma. All right, next is we substitute those values for gamma sub 1 and 2 uh, at x equal to 0. Okay, so the limiting values for gamma we substitute here. For example, at first we use gamma sub 2 equal to 1. So we substitute here. So gamma sub 2 equal to 1. So it's removed from the equation, and gamma sub 1 equal to exponent a. So this will be our equation. And we also substitute in this equation the scenario when x sub 1 equal to 1, the other side of the limit, and we get this equation. All right, and then using that, remember that we calculated already the saturation pressures at the given temperature in part A. We substitute those saturation pressures into these equations. We get the values of the relative volatility at x sub 1 equal to 0 and the relative volatility at x sub 1 equal to 1. And what do you notice? One value is greater than 1, the other is less than 1. And therefore, since the relative volatility is a continuous function, it means that it will pass at, it must pass through the value equal to 1 in order to cross from this limit to this limit. Okay, so that means the condition wherein the relative volatility equal to 1, which defines the azeotrope, okay, the azeotrope is true, okay, because it will pass the value of 1 since the limits are located uh, either side of 1. So I hope you got that. Now, the question is, at what value of x sub 1 does the azeotrope exist? So the if we set the relative volatility, I'm sorry, since the azeotrope happens at the relative volatility equal to 1, and we have this equation, this one, so we set this to 1, okay, that means the ratio of gamma sub 1 and gamma sub 2 is just equal to the ratio of P2 sat over P1 sat. Okay, so I hope you got that because this is 1. We solve for gamma sub 1 over gamma sub 2, and that would give us this number. Okay, so just take the ratio of the saturation pressures. Next is we uh, we use another equation. Okay, we subtract this correlation with this one. It will give us the ln of gamma sub 1 divided by gamma sub 2, because the property of natural log is when we subtract them, it becomes the ratio, right? So that means the right hand side of the equation is this one minus this one. Okay, so that is exactly what we have here, and it's a polynomial. We expand the polynomial into this one, and then because x sub uh so simplifying, it would give us this final value, and therefore this ratio, which at the azeotrope, gamma sub 1 over gamma sub 2 equal to 1.474. In order to solve for x sub 1, so we substitute that into the ratio. Okay, and that would give us the value of x sub 1, and this is the value. This at this small fraction, there is an azeotrope. Okay, so the azeotrope exists at this mole fraction. And we can solve the value of the pressure, okay, using the modified Raoult's law, and because x sub 1 at the azeotrope is equal to y sub 1 at the azeotrope, okay, we will be able to solve the pressure, and that is the answer. The composition x sub 1 equal to y sub 1 at the azeotrope is 0.325, and the pressure is 73.76. And that ends this very long problem. I hope you understand that. You can refer to the book 7th edition Smith and Van Ness for if you want the solution as well. Okay. So I'll stop the video for now and see you the next video.